Greetings to all and sundry, my people of southern Cameroons, my brave warriors of our liberation movement of the people of Ambazonia. Accept greetings today from me, Comrade John Akuro, and today is Tuesday. The date of today is December 12th. That's the 12th day of the 12th month in the year 2023. And so, folks, I'm here for us to talk about some very important thing I've talked about before. Something I've mentioned before, and something I'd announced before, that we're getting closer to this particular moment. And this moment is so fundamental because, we are beginning to get the clear signs of the times. Usually, when they talk in the Bible, they talk of the signs and wonders, but here we're talking of the clear signs of the times. Signs of the times to come, not long from now, in our noisy neighbors' compound in La République du Cameroun, those people who are oppressing us in Ambazonia. My dear people of Ambazonia, I pointed out before that the end of the Bia era will be very, very devastating in La République du Cameroun. And I also said, way back in 2017, that the timing of this phase of our liberation movement is not by error. For those who actually believe in divinity, for those who have read esoteric literature, for those who are ardent Christians and who actually read and understand the Bible properly, you will agree with me that it happens in the spirit first before it manifests in the physical. That is why sometimes you dream about something and days or weeks after, what you dreamt about comes to pass exactly as you saw it. If you are one who dreams and sees those dreams eventually come to pass, that you dreamt in your sleep. I'm not meaning like you sit down and dream that I want to be this. No, that you were sleeping and you had a dream. I should call it a vision. And then days after you see it happen, sometimes hours after you see it happen. This is because it is decided first in the spirit before it manifests in the physical. And I've said it time and again that the freedom of Ambazonia, the freedom of the southern Cameroons, had long been decided in the spirit. That is why, despite all the cacophony, despite the infighting, despite the growth of those people who call themselves blacklegs, despite the bribery and corruption scheme put in place by the Republic du Cameroun, nothing has been able to break this liberation movement. Nothing. And nothing will break it. And I say this to those who by day and by night continue to play the game of La République du Cameroun against our people. What you are simply doing is you are placing yourself on the wrong side of history. Because the freedom of Ambazonia, of the southern Cameroons, has already been decided. The only thing that's happening now is the how and when we get to it. Because it gets decided, concluded, and executed in the spirit before it happens in the physical. And if you have the good luck sometimes to be able to sleep and then you see through the mediums, this will mean a thing to you. So folks, when I had announced that the end of the Bia era is going to be devastating, it really has never been a joke. I've said here several times that that government, that country is crumbling economically. People said, no, you are telling lies. Sometimes people have called me and tell me, oh, those are predictions. When do they ever come? I don't predict. No, I analyze. Because again, I had the good luck to work in that country and in that system for a good 19 years. Sometimes someone will tell me that you are singing it as a song. I say, yes, if for emphasis, so you understand what I mean, it is very fundamental that I repeat it over and over. And sometimes I actually take the pains to put my name here on the scroll, just so that if you are joining in and you're coming in for the first time, you will see this name. And sometimes when I say certain things, Those who had the opportunity to watch me when I was working on CRTV will know that, oh, I see, this is the man himself talking. I covered the economic sector of that country starting 2000. And sometimes I got disconnected from the national stations because of punitive transfers, and I was sent here and there, but I came back. And you noticed that just at the start of this liberation movement, I mean, CRTV was broadcasting a lot of the economic magazines on TV, 52-minute magazines that I conducted on the field. So when I talk about the economy of Cameroon, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm saying this for emphasis, because when I've called the attention of people to the effect that what we are doing is eroding the strength of the Cameroon economy so seriously, putting them through what is called financial tense moments, and that the government has only been doing all it could or all it can in every way to at least honor salaries to avoid, an early mass movement. That's exactly what has been going on. But gradually, it gets to that place where it can no longer hide. That's why they say there's a pregnancy. The first few months, you can pretend, oh, I'm not pregnant, I just ate so much, I just felt. But it will keep growing. By the time it gets to the 7th or the 8th month, it becomes really visible that even babies can see that, no, this is not just the effect of overeating, that there is something bigger than just overeating. So La République du Cameroun is at this place right now. La République du Cameroun is at that place right now that I've often talked about, that we will see with our own eyes to understand that the campaign we are leading, the economic sabotage, especially spearheaded by the ghost towns operations in Ambazonia, are yielding the desired effect. And I said at the time that I was counting so much on the officials, especially in the Ministry of Defense of La République du Cameroun, to clean the treasury dry on grounds they need the money to prosecute their genocidal war in Ambazonia. And today you are hearing a good lot of them have looted the treasury. So, but because a good lot of them don't need to go through the norms again to get money. They don't need to go in the money, oh, les ambas là vont nous finir, and those ambas will finish on this or that thing, we need 50 billion. Are you asking questions? Are you crazy? The money is dispatched. That is exactly how it has been going. What has been happening is that the international finance institutions like the IMF, the World Bank, and others know exactly how to handle such situations with such regimes. Why have they continued to give money to La République du Cameroun despite often complaining themselves about rampant embezzlement, rampant mismanagement, rampant this and that? When I was studying diplomacy in a week, because I quote where I got this knowledge, we studied how a good lot of the times these big figures that you hear that they announce, oh, $5 billion is coming, $5 billion is coming to Cameroon in terms of aid, they explained. Our teachers led us through this, our professors led us through this, Professor Alain Didier Olinga and others with Ebaibe or Ebaibe and others. They led us, including Mesanga Nyamding, they led us into understanding clearly that too often only about 10% of that money gets actually into the country. Because the greater chunk of it is shared among the leaders of the country anxious to keep this money back in foreign banks, and the managers or the directors or the officials at these international institutions, the World Bank, the IMF, and others. That's exactly what happens. So if they say 100 billion is coming, 90 billion is going to be shared out here among officials of the IMF, the World Bank, and those of the Cameroon government. And at the end of the day, what enters is 10 billion. So it is for that reason, therefore, that when they meet such an attractive partner, of course, they will keep doling money. Even if you say they are killing people, they are very well, they will keep sending out money because it is personal enrichment. It is not in the interest of the people of the Cameroon that they are sending that money. No, it is not in the interest of the people of Cameroon. It is in their own interest. And so that's why they'll always find one way or the other to claim, oh yeah, the economy is resilient, the indicators are practically there, but the cracks are there, completely visible, even for the blind to now see. That is why I keep reminding our people all the time. This should tell you a thing. You see this picture? Le grand soir arrive. La violente guerre entre les clans Ngongo et Motazé détruit le peuple. Listen, when they say that night, that dangerous night, that tough night, where daggers will be flashing in the skies, that night is almost here, you think it's a joke. The night is there. You can see already what is going on the ground. Listen, folks, when you see they put Lupo Motaze on the one hand and Ferdinand Gongo, Lupo Motaze's camp is a camp that includes Laurent Esso, the Minister of Justice, keeper of the seals, the murderer. Of course, not me saying it. I'm saying it from you know what emerged from the assassination of Martinez Zogo. It's in that same clan that you have quite a lot of other folks, including the Minister of Communication. All of them involved in this clan with Amugo Bellinga. When you see Ngongo in his own group has people like Atanga Ponji. There are a good lot of them inside. So these two, Ngongo, because he holds the purse, he is the minister of I beg your pardon, Lupo Motaze, because he holds the purse. He is the all-powerful and almighty minister of finance. Don't forget that he has been Secretary General at the Prime Minister's office. Don't forget that he has been Minister Minister of the Economy, Regional Development. That is Minister of the Economy and Regional Development. That's what's called Minepat. And don't forget that he has been Director General of CNPS, of the National Social Insurance Fund. Of course, Ngongo has been Secretary General of the Ministry of External Affairs, and he left from there as Secretary General of the Ministry of External Affairs to become the all-powerful Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic. So these are actually the leaders of the two main clans. You may think that these are the only clans that exist, and this will confuse you. Don't forget, the Northerners, represented by Mr. Usman May, the brother of Alamin Usman May, who is now Minister of the Economy and Regional Development, has made clear that the Northerners are monitoring the situation, and when the time comes, they will use the nuclear option. And they are not stupid. That is why Alamin Usman May is in the system, even seems to belong to one of the two camps I just mentioned. The brother Usman May is standing aloof and shouting on rooftops about the nuclear option of the North. So they have a lot of people within all these camps, just to let you know that it is going to be really, 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 really bloody. And so when that will be happening, what will happen to us, to the people of Ambazonia? This is the issue that should preoccupy our minds now more than any other thing. The rest should actually be, secondary. What do we do at this time? And like I said, in line with this, Usman May says very interesting things in this particular tweet. And he's saying them and quoting Kavae Yege Jibril. Of course, I wouldn't doubt that what Usman May says that Kavae Jibril said will be a farce. No, there is one specific reason why I won't doubt. And that reason is that Usman May himself, that Abubakar Usman May himself, is from the far north. Kavae Yege Jibril is from the far north. And these people have infiltrated the entire system, and they get first-hand information by the hour and by the day. And so what Abubakar Usman May says here, it may seem funny, it may create room for laughter, but it's a clarion call on us, the people of the southern Cameroon, the people of Ambazonia, to build bridges where we have broken them, in readiness for that night. Because on that night, every site will determine its future, will determine its destiny. On that night, that grand soir, it's not just me announcing it, it is here. You can see it. Le grand soir arrive. On that night, and that night, when I say on that night, some may think that you don't mean that is one night. No, it's going to be an extremely long night. And during that long night, every party would determine their destiny. How are we preparing for it? Let's see how it is already being played out. So, Abubakar Ousmane May says, Cavaye Yege Djibril is reported to be saying, la pourriture de ce pays commence par le sommet. That the rottenness of their country started from above. This Cavaye Yege Djibril talking now freely, doesn't care. Because Biya now is a toothless bulldog. There is nothing he can do again to anybody. Where he is, he himself has already been totally quarantined. He does not even know where he is a lot of the times. At least we have seen videos of Chantal trying to make us have that belief that he's still up and doing. And we see how he operates completely like a ngaput. So he says again, further, ce que nous remarquons, c'est la manifestation de la corruption au sommet de l'État. Of course, he's talking about absolute corruption at the helm of the state. Il dit le vrai président élu par les Camerounais est porté disparu et a laissé la place aux bandes organisées et aux clans. Did you hear that? It's not me saying. He said, according to him, of course, because we know that Biya was never elected in that country, but he says the person supposedly elected as president of that country has disappeared and given room to what is called now gangs, organized gangs of bandits and clanism. And so that's what is going on in that country now. Cameroon is no longer governed. And I'm not the one saying it. This is Cavaye Yege Djibril saying it through this tweet that I'm seeing by Abubakar Ousmane May. He says, et la succession sera sanglante. He says, la succession sera sanglante. That the succession, that power, the power change in that country is going to be bloody. That is what he says. It's not me. So he says, la succession sera sanglante. À supposer qu'il ferme les yeux brusquement, le pays devient quoi? So he asks this fundamental question. Imagine that Biya suddenly closes his eyes, that Biya suddenly succumbs. What is going to happen? Imagine that this is the Speaker of the National Assembly, the third in the line of succession, asking these kind of questions. It should tell you of the chaos that is ahead. Some will tell me it's foreign news. I will laugh. This is not foreign news. This is local news. Because it concerns you and it concerns me. Because when that chaos will come up, I've told our Ambazonian brothers and sisters who are in La République du Cameroun and those who are continuing to buy land to build houses in Yaoundé and Douala, I've told you this is a waste of your investment. You are putting your investment at risk. No serious individual or entity in the world will hazard any single dollar to invest anything in La République du Cameroun. Except, permit me the word, our stupid Anglophiles, Ambazonian Southern Cameroonians, who work their hard-earned money in the United States, in Europe, and carry and say they are going to buy land in Yaoundé and all of those things. No. I'm giving you all this so you know the people themselves know that chaos is coming, that they themselves are not investing anymore. Everybody, they are keeping their resources to get ready for that night, that long night, that night where everything will be decided, where everyone will have the chance to decide their destiny, where us Ambazonians will also have the chance to decide our destiny as to whether we want to remain slaves for life or we want to get freedom. It is that night. Don't think about anything. It is that night. And trust me, like I said, it has already been decided in the spirit. A lot of us making noise on social media platforms, making claims in diaspora, I'm leader of this, I'm president, I'm chairman, I'm this, I'm that, and all of those things. Trust me, we're noisemakers. Because that night, none of us will be at the scene. That night, Forget about this whole issue of this are my boys, I'm controlling them, I'm doing that. That night, even people that have toys that were not involved in this fight, they will be in there. The more reason why we need to put our acts together, cooperate, and make sure we bond together so that we will be able to work as a group and in unison on that long night. So that we come out of that long night not so fragilized that we will have to be taking a lot of time again to mend the fences, because that night is close. And it's Cavaillé that says that et la succession sera sanglante, it will be bloody. C'est à supposer qu'il ferme les yeux brusquement. Le pays devient quoi? Là, il respire encore. And he says this, he's justifying. He said, là, il respire encore. That at this moment, he's even still alive, still breathing. Si c'était à l'Assemblée nationale, on crierait sur tous les toits. That is what is happening at the Toudi, at the presidency of the Republic du Cameroun, where there's massive confusion, total, chaos and all of those things. If it will happen at the National Assembly, everybody will be screaming on rooftops. And they say, là, arrivons au niveau des militaires. Il y aura un moment où il va affecter un général ou un autre officier. Ils diront que c'est un fake. Et vous allez voir ce qui va arriver. Did you hear that? That there will come a time. It's there. I'm putting so you read. That there will come a time where Paul Biya will even appoint or transfer a general in the army. And the general will tell him to go and eat the dust. The general will tell him, I'm not shaking. And say that decree that has just been read is fake. Of course. I don't know why he's saying this. We have seen the cacophony of somebody issuing something from the court and saying it's a release order because he has personally, single-handedly, without any trial, decided that Amugo Bellinger and Eko are not guilty for the murder of, in the issue of the assassination of Martinez Zogo. And then the same day, the same judge issues another decision saying that what was published before, purportedly, he used purported coming from him, is fake. So this is the issue that Cavaillé Jibril is saying here. That when Biya will get up someday and say, oh, he's appointing a general or retiring a general or asking general, and then they say, no, this is fake. He said, then we will see what will happen. And we're not far from there. Because even the President of the Republic has signed decrees that they have said the next day that they were fake. This is exactly where they are. Folks, I'm taking the pains to go through this so that we see the level of chaos. Because they say when opportunity meets preparation, the result is success. When opportunity meets preparation, what is the result? Success. The result is effectiveness, it's success. But when opportunity comes and you are not ready, trust me, you call that waste. That's the name you give to it. You call it a waste. So therefore, this is a moment for us as a people to bear in mind that while that night has just started and the darkness is gradually covering the land, that while the darkness has not yet engulfed the entire land, let's make ready. This is that time. It's not after. He pushes on. He says, this is still Cavaillé Jibril. Quand moi je dis, depuis plus de 3 ans que le pays n'est plus gouverné et dirigé, et qu'il est soit sur pilotage auto, soit abandonné entre les mains des petits voyous, des bandits de grands chemins et voleurs, personne ne me croyait. This Cavaillé Jibril talking. It's in a Twitter, and it's on Twitter. And this tweet is published by Abubakar Usman May. Listen, if Abubakar Usman May were quoting Cavaillé Jibril falsely, of course he should be arrested. If we're telling lies, he should be arrested. If Kavae Yegejibi were telling lies, he too should be arrested. Do you think that what Abubakar Osman May has published like this, if any Southern Cameroonians, be it John Hute, be it even Atanga Ponji, who thinks that he's almighty right now, be it Fu Jonathan, be it Elumpoche, any of them, be it Elvis Ngolengolo say he's the director of the CPDM Academy, they will be arrested. They will be arrested. Abubakar Osman May was in Yaoundé. Yeah, he was in Yaoundé over the weekend to take part at the convention of Maurice Kamto's MRC party. Abubakar Osman May was there. His picture was there. I saw it. He was there. Nobody has asked him a question. This tweet is still on Twitter. It is live. I'm not the one saying it. It should tell you the level of chaos that has really descended on that triangle. And this is why I'm telling my dear brothers and sisters of Ambazonia, who are still sticking their heads and necks for La République du Cameroun, calm down. Calm down, oh, calm down, oh, calm down. Join the morning train. Join the liberation train. Those of you who are still spoiling to become blacklegs and all of those things, it's a failed venture. You are getting into a ship that is sinking. And those of you still running up and down, running your mouths about federalism, have proven here, beyond reasonable doubt, that that thing you're calling federalism does not exist in the psyche of La République du Cameroun and their master France. Come for restoration. Come for independence. Come for absolute independence. That is what we need at this time. And let me finish with Kavae Yegejibril. Because he says that for at least 3 years today, he has pointed out that Cameroon is no longer governed. That the country is on autopilot. That's what Kavae Yegejibril says. That for the past 3 years, he has pointed out that the country is on autopilot. Nobody is running the country. The country is going its own direction. Yeah, that's why A says this, B says yes. And that's why you suddenly hear on the high instructions of the president. That's Kavae has said, I don't want to ever hear that nonsense he called haute instruction. Because anybody can get up at any moment and talk of high instructions. Kavae Yegejibril himself, for at least 6 years now that I know, has struggled to have an audience with Paul Biya. This is the Speaker of the Assembly. He has not succeeded. He's not even only Speaker. He's a member of the Politburo. He has never succeeded in having a one-on-one with Paul Biya. And that's why he has now decided to be throwing all of this the way he is doing. And that's why he has decided to challenge the authority of Paul Biya there at the Assembly. And that's why he says there is separation of powers when it comes to this one. Stay at the Unity Palace and let me stay here at the glass building. Everybody should have their dominion. And now, that's why he's pilfering all of this. So he says, même au temps de Bourguiba en Tunisie, on n'avait jamais atteint ce niveau de pourriture et décomposition de la vie en Tunisie. If you have heard, they've often talked about the Bourguiba syndrome. Go to Google and type Bourguiba. Bourguiba is B-O-U-R-G-U-I-B-A. And then the syndrome. The syndrome Bourguiba. You will read everything. Where Bourguiba sat and they usually told him that he was still president. And he never even knew where he was. He never even knew that he was still alive. But once in a while they will pass around and inform him and remind him that he was still president. And everything was just happening. And that's what Kavae Yegejibril is saying here. That even under the Tunisia of Bourguiba, there's a society has never been so decomposed, so destroyed, so shattered. Life has not been so useless in such a setup. So il dit, nous attendons, nous avons atteint vraiment le fond. That's it there. Nous avons atteint vraiment le fond. Say, yeah, Cameroon has really reached rock bottom. Folks, I will let go of Kavae Yegejibril. So the reason I did this, the reason I bring this here, is just so that we continue to know how rotten that system is, but most especially that we are getting towards that very critical moment. That we are already in that night, that long night, it has started. The darkness is descending gradually. It's going crescendo. But what are we doing to ensure that when the darkness really begins to be visible, as it is covering that land, where every caste would determine their destiny, what are we doing? I say, verily, verily, we need a lot of money in this liberation movement. Baako is not asking for money for himself. No, I've never done that. I need money for my personal upkeep. No. I have told you time and again, go out there, contribute your money in what we call one pot relief. This will enable those who need the resources on the ground to get these resources to do what they need to do at the approach of that night, and especially on that night. Don't tell me afterwards I do not know where to contribute. That is it. www.onepodrelief. www.onepodrelief. Choose your county. Go ahead and make your contribution. I hear some people say that they are having difficulties because it seems the only way to pay is PayPal. It's not just PayPal. When you go to check out, click on PayPal. As you see, they will click there, it will open up and you see a vast array of options, including the use of your credit or debit cards if you're in North America, to contribute to your credit and debit cards completely. Even if you are in the United Kingdom, you can still do with your credit or debit card. So the only merchant that's being used there is not only PayPal. So go there and make your contribution. So www.onepodrelief is for the entire liberation movement. It is not for the consortium. It is not for SCNC. It's not for IGK. No, it is not for that. It is for the entire liberation movement. It's not for the, any of the interim government. It's not only for AGOVC. It's not only for APLM. No, it is for the entire liberation movement. So quickly rush to www.onepodrelief.org and make your contribution. So that said, if you are just joining, share this link. We are not going to be long again, but you have heard right now as we speak that there is a serious fuel shortage in La République du Cameroun. Of course, a lot of the parts of our land are not witnessing this because they don't even have, filling stations. So gas is coming from too many other sources to the people, and they buy directly from them. It's true that in our urban centers, people have access to some of those filling stations, and they're feeling the pain of this. That in some places, especially like I heard in Bafoussam, that in the west region of La République du Cameroun, a liter of super that should normally at this point sell at 730 francs is now selling at 1,500, and in some places even 2,000 francs 1 liter. Why? Because of scarcity. But why that scarcity? Now there's something to explain. Listen, you need to know that when La République du Cameroun set out to burn down Sonara, of course, in one of my last broadcasts, I demonstrated here that Sonara was the most indebted company in their triangle. When the République du Cameroun officials set out to burn down Sonara, the intention was clear. They knew they were going to get the money from the insurance, from the insurer, because in the event of the burning down, in the event of any disaster at the company, of course, the insurance company will have to bear the brunt and provide money for an entire rehabilitation. The plan was that they were going to use that money to construct an ultra-modern refinery in Kribi. Because don't ever forget this. Joseph Owona said it in 1993 at the tripartite conference. Professor Elvis Ngole, you were there. You were present. I think even Professor Carlson and Nyangwe, you were present. A good lot of them, of our people, including I think Samuel Ekonta Elad. I think even with Simon Munzu, you were there. But most especially I named Professor Carlson Anyangwe and Professor Elvis Ngole Ngole. You recall that when the people of the Southern Cameroons were talking about a return to the federal system, Joseph Owona said, if the Anglophones, as he was calling them, continue to talk about federalism, they will break away and form a Betty state made up of the center, south, and east. And so, if you go back in the past 15 to 20 years and look at where the major investments in that country have been going to, they have been going only to the center, southeastern grid. We call it the southern grid. Center, southeast. Look at them. And you hear the billions involved. Look at just energy. Lompanga is in the east. That one has swallowed over 600 billion CFA francs. Until this minute I'm talking, it is yet to produce 1 kilowatt of energy. I've not said 1 megawatt, I mean 1 kilowatt of energy. You leave from there, Memvele is in the south. Memvele is in the south. At the time I went there to do a program in December of 2016 and early January 2017, Memvele had already consumed over 400 billion CFA francs, and it was expected to contribute 216 megawatts of energy to that country. This far I hear is not even up to 40 megawatts, and it's not even regular. You leave from there, go to Mekin, another one that consumed well over 50 billion, and by the time I left, as I now hear, they're at over 100 billion. Mekin is in the center. And the official in charge is called BIA, D-I-Y-A, BIA Moto. Mekin had to produce just 10 megawatts of energy. By the time they decided to turn on the turbine to churn out electricity, the flood in the area was unparalleled. I don't know if Mekin is actually up and running. This is just for the energy. Look at the Kribi deep sea port. Where is it? Of course, it's Kribi. It's in the south, in the ocean division of the south region. Leave away from there. Look at the iron ore project that they say is thousands of billions. The Mbalam iron ore project. Where is it? In the east. Center, southeast. I mean, there are just too many projects. I can name, and I will name. This is in preparation. And so therefore they needed a refinery. Not that they even are producing oil. Not that they have found crude oil in the area. No. Yes, they have found crude oil. There's crude oil onshore in the littoral in Douala. There's crude oil in Lagdo, that's in the northern region. Of course, there's crude oil in a lot of the areas in the southern Cameroons. And so they need to continue using the pipeline to bring these ones right now into Betty land for production. So by the time they did this, that is when there were plans normally to upgrade Sonara with equipment enough so that Sonara should be able to refine the kind of crude oil that Cameroon exports, that they tap from the southern Cameroons and export. Hell no, they didn't. So today what is happening is Cameroon is actually importing oil, finished product, not just crude, finished. Because even by the time I was coming to this broadcast, I was seeing one of the just sent me, also say you can see the video. Unfortunately, I was unable to download it, of ships about to anchor from Perenco and others coming to deliver fuel, not to deliver crude, to deliver fuel for the Cameroon market, which is so hard hit right now. But then, it is one of them. One of the insiders, Bruno Bijanze, that broke the very bad news to everyone watching.
Bonjour à tous. Depuis le week-end dernier, le Cameroun est plongé dans une pénurie de carburant. Une pénurie de carburant qui plombe l'activité économique dans notre pays et qui amène beaucoup de citoyens camerounais à se poser la question de savoir ce qui se passe. malgré quelques communications du gouvernement qui, dans un premier temps, à travers la SCDP, a démenti l'information. Il y a quelques jours, on a eu le communiqué du ministre de l'Eau et de l'Énergie qui essaie d'expliquer que cela est dû notamment aux intempéries océaniques et tout ce qu'on essaie de nous expliquer. Mais en fait, ce n'est pas ça le problème. Le problème, c'est quoi? La pénurie observée aujourd'hui est due simplement à une cause. C'est que l'État du Cameroun doit 134 milliards de francs CFA aux importateurs, au premier rang desquels la Total.
So did you hear that? This is Bruno Bijanze saying it. This is just the first thing he's saying. So he says since last weekend, there have been serious issues of gas. That's the weekend of the 8th of December, right up to today. There have been serious issues of petroleum products on the market. That's what I said. In some parts of the country, 1 liter of superdat should be selling at 730 CFA francs. It's now selling at 1,500, 2,000 CFA francs even in some cases. So he's now explaining what I've always said. The government of Cameroon is owing 134 billion CFA francs at least 134 billion CFA francs to the companies or to the companies that supply petroleum products to the country. 134 billion to those companies, and he says topmost among them is Total. I just mentioned Perenco and others. So he said the practice usually when there is trust between parties, and this happened before. Total will supply Cameroon, Total and the other companies and the other suppliers will supply Cameroon with petroleum products, and then Cameroon will pay them afterwards. But gradually, this accumulated until it got to over 130 billion CFA francs in debt, and those companies have said, we can't bear this anymore. Henceforth, if you want petroleum products, pay up front. Did you get that? Pay up front. That kind of system comes into being when trust is lost. Because it is becoming clear to Total and others that Cameroon is virtually bankrupt. Bankrupt. Bruno Bijan or Vision Card. Bruno Bijan, who is at the heart of the system, will tell you with his own lips. Because when I see it here, he says Mbakuro. You go and bring me fake things and say, oh, the economy of Cameroon is resilient. They went to the international market, they wanted 100 billion, they got 150, they got this and that, there's money. What bankruptcy are you talking about? You will hear from the lips of one of those apostles who will tell you that Paul Biya is God. Yeah. And with all of these pains now like this, with people now buying petrol that should normally have been selling at 630 before it got raised by $100, by 100 francs, and now they're buying for 2,000. The only thing I can do is ask Ashunyenti. Ashunyenti, what's going on?
President Paul Biya is a blessing to this country. Cameroonians, we are lucky. We are made because we have Paul Biya, the helm of the state CAF. This president is our greatest marksman. He is our principal goal scorer.
We can see all the goals. He has scored all the goals until that's where, I mean, he has brought the Paul Biya is truly a blessing for the Republic du Cameroon. A real blessing. I mean, he's a principal goal scorer. That's why the country is finished. So these companies have now said, you pay up front before we can supply you. That means before long, Cameroon is going to get to that place where there will also be rationing in terms of petrol, just as there is rationing for electricity. I mean rationing in terms of petrol, where they will say, from this period to that period, the people in this part of the country, you will have gas you can go about. While the other ones, you are locked down. You go on foot or your bicycles or, you know, with canoes to places because there will be no petrol. Let's listen again to Bijan.
Au premier rang de quel Total, autant pour moi. Alors, Total qui, depuis un certain moment, exige à être payé, décide donc de livrer le carburant qu'une fois sa facture payée. Avant, comment ça se passait? Total livrait le carburant et attendait les paiements après. Mais sauf que ces paiements prenaient beaucoup de temps pour être effectués par l'État du Cameroun. Et donc Total contraint aujourd'hui l'État du Cameroun à payer d'abord avant de livrer le carburant. C'est la raison pour laquelle...
So he's just explaining what I just explained. That because of lack of trust, because Cameroon has demonstrated that financially they can no longer be trusted. Cameroon has demonstrated that they no longer have enough liquidity to back their commands. Total, Perenco, and others now say no. You want 10,000 cubic liters of petrol, that's super, gasoline, and all of this. This is the amount. Pay us the money, we deliver. When it gets finished, pay us again for whatever you need, and we deliver. We can't supply anymore without cashing money. Because the government of Cameroon, that is cash strapped, is already owing over 134 billion. And Bruno Bidjan says that is not all.
Aujourd'hui, on assiste à cette pénurie du carburant. Au-delà de ça, l'État du Cameroun, depuis 2008, subventionne le litre de carburant à la pompe pour permettre à ce que les citoyens puissent aujourd'hui, par exemple, payer 1 litre de carburant super à 730 francs CFA au lieu de 1000 francs. Donc, l'État supporte 270 francs CFA par litre de carburant consommé à la pompe. Ça, c'est une décision du gouvernement camerounais de pouvoir supporter cette ardoise qui est devenue très lourde et qui coûte chaque année, par exemple pour le cas de 2022, pour l'année 2022, qui a coûté à l'État du Cameroun pratiquement et plus de 700 milliards de francs CFA. C'est énorme. C'est énorme. Si on ajoute le fait que le Cameroun fait face à des tensions de trésorerie avec une dette extérieure et intérieure qui avoisine pratiquement les 12 000 milliards.
So did you hear that? So in fact, I don't want to waste our time with all the other things that he was explaining. He was simply explaining that the government of Cameroon has been paying a lot of subvention for petroleum products. And he's saying that if they were to sell normally 1 liter of super in Cameroon today should cost 1,000 francs. And so he says the government of Cameroon, by causing people to buy a liter of super at 730 francs, the government of Cameroon is paying 270 francs per liter for every single liter that any person that needs petrol in Cameroon buys, that needs super in Cameroon buys. And so he says that has cost the government of Cameroon over 800 billion francs during at least a decade now, for over 10 years today. And so the government of Cameroon can no longer pay. And he says, with all of this and other situations that he's actually not quoting, the government of Cameroon today has an external debt of over 12,000 billion CFA francs. 12,000 billion CFA francs. Did you hear that? It's not me saying it. It's Bruno Bidjan, a man of the system. The Cameroon government today owes about 12,000 billion CFA francs. People are now weary of borrowing again to Cameroon because the country has been living on debts and giving the impression that no, we are taking control of the situation because of rampant theft and corruption. Like you heard, that they stole from the residence of the director of the civil cabinet at the presidency, Mbondo Ayolo, from his residence in hard currency, over 1.5 billion. Some sources will say 4 billion in cash, liquid cash, that they stole. And they feel that is the houseboy or one of the, that's to over 1.5 billion in hard currency, in cash. Tell me. And despite this scandal, which is documented by security forces that have been going around and arresting people in connection to that theft, nothing is happening or nothing has happened to Mbondo Ayolo. This is because a lot of this money that they arrange, I pointed out earlier, with the IMF, with the World Bank and others, this money is shared long before the small portion of it that to come in comes in. And when that small portion comes in, those who are not involved with the sharing at the international level, so they just start just directly in foreign banks without it even moving to Cameroon, start stealing the one that gets home again. That's exactly where we are. And now Bruno Bijan says, tension de trésorerie. You know what's meant by tension de trésorerie? The government of Cameroon heading towards bankruptcy. Tension de trésorerie means they're facing a serious financial crisis. That's what it is. Serious financial crisis. And this is due to our resilience. This is due to our determination. This is due to our commitment to our liberation movement. We were their source of money. With your money goes down alone, the devastation is unimaginable. I've not even gone to what our brave hearts, our self-defense volunteers are doing, foiling all their attempts to imprison us for life, to make us slaves for life. Folks, you are doing a great job. Shake, shake, no day. Let's finish with Bruno Bijan.
Vous comprenez que c'est très difficile. En dehors de ça, le Cameroun est confronté à de nombreux enjeux. Vous avez...
Vraiment très difficile. You understand that it's really hard. Very tough for Cameroon. I said, when the time comes, they will open their own lips and they will confess that it's not easy. Here we are. They are confessing that it's not easy. Things are so tough now, so hard.
Vous avez la guerre dans le Nozo, ce n'est pas à négliger. Vous avez la guerre, notamment à l'extrême nord, qui avec des temps...
So here you say la guerre dans le Nozo. Ce n'est pas à négliger. They always try to downplay, to say, no, that's not the main reason. But that is the main reason. Trust me, folks. I'm telling you this, eh? That is the main reason. He could try to fly over it, but he couldn't. Cameroon been battling Boko Haram for forever, for a long time. But they never got face what they are facing today. The cost of occupation is growing by the day. It's not easy. And unfortunately for them too, that long night has started. Let's finish up.
Avec des regains d'attaques et autres, vous avez le Cameroun qui essaye de remonter son économie après la pandémie à Covid-19. Vous avez la crise liée aux OTS, aux enseignants. Vous avez de nombreuses autres crises. Et donc, le Cameroun, face à cette situation, a ce qu'on appelle en économie une tension de trésorerie et donc ne peut plus tenir ses engagements à date. Et c'est ça.
Have you heard? He's finished it. That there are multiple crises that that country is facing right now. Cameroon can no longer meet its financial engagements. Bam! What do you say to this, Ashu Nyenti? No, wait. Ashu is the oracle. Ashu Nyenti, Ashu, please come. Where's Ashu? Oh no, I'm calling on my technical department to help me. Bring me Ashu. Let Ashu Nyenti tell us what is going on in this kind of circumstances. Oh no. Ashu, you can't run. Ashu Nyenti, the Bia Oracle, you can't run. Yeah, so what's going on now? What do we say, Ashu, faced with this kind of situation? That Cameroon can no longer meet its financial engagements, both locally and internationally. Ashu, what should we say to this?
It has always taken us out of very difficult situations. First, because of his immense wisdom. Second, because of his aura and international clout. Those who meet President Paul Biya for the first time are out and bow in reverence, in respect for his profound knowledge. President.
Oh yes, that's true. You must bow in reverence to the wisdom and profound knowledge of a man who could take a country that was economically buoyant and reduce it to rubble like this. All you need to do is appreciate his wisdom. Oh yes, very few people have such wisdom of destruction like Mr. Paul Biya. That's why I agree with you, Ashunyente. At least on this, I agree with you. That's why when you say Paul Biya is what?
Paul Biya is a blessing to this country.
I agree. Paul Biya is absolutely a blessing to us right now. Because Paul Biya is our gift that has never stopped giving. Paul Biya has finished the whole place. And La République du Cameroun are playing their final days in Ambazonia. All what they do once in a while, they make the other visual to see if they can frighten us to imagine that we have failed. When they know that they are crumbling. And that's why they could do all kinds of things to make us feel that they are standing buoyant so that we should surrender. No, hell no. Ambazonia has risen and will never fall. Folks, let us continue to hold strong. We're on the right trajectory. I'm not the one saying, I've said it before. You doubted me. Perhaps now that is a citizen of La République du Cameroun, not anyone. One who is from the Esingan, from the heart of it, who's telling you that Cameroon is bankrupt. That's the word. And can no longer meet both its national and international engagements. That's it. Well, folks, I think that you want to hear him again?
Qui aujourd'hui, la cause de la pénurie de carburant que nous observons.
So, I mean, the situation is clear and speaks for itself. So, go ahead, share this communication as much as you can. Share and share and share until your fingers pain. Share the good news. Let our people know that we are succeeded. We have succeeded. We are succeeding in bringing La République du Cameroun to its knees. And that it is time for us to finish the race. Share. Share as much as you can. Let our people know it is time to finish the race. Where are all the prodigal sons and prodigal daughters who have run away from the liberation movement thinking that we were failing or that we will fail? Where is the prodigal son? Tell him to come without delay. Where is the prodigal son? Where is the prodigal son? Tell them to come back without delay. Because fields are getting wide. Harvest is getting ready. We all need to be together to bear the sheaves away. To God and to Him alone will be all the glory. And thank you so much for your time.